Hello, Kipsters. Today is Wednesday, March 10th, and today we have a very special lesson I would like to say. Okay, so in this lesson, you're going to see a video of myself playing the clarinet. Okay, and I'm really never shown anyone this video. Maybe that's because I didn't think I did that well. Maybe that's because I could never find it before. But I'm going to show you a live video of me playing the clarinet when I was in college. Okay. So today we are going to learn about two instruments, two very cool instruments. One is the clarinet, of course, and then the other is probably the world's most famous instrument besides the trumpet, and that is the saxophone. Okay. First instrument we're going to dive into is the clarinet. Before we do that, let's make sure that we're following along in the Nearpod as well as watching the YouTube video at the same time so that you can hear me read the slides to you and that we can be in the same place at the same time. Okay? Moving on to the next slide for today. We are at the clarinet. The clarinet has a single reed mouthpiece, a straight cylinder shaped tube, and a flared bell. Now, yesterday we did all the double reed instruments. We did the oboe, we did the bassoon, we did the contrabassoon, and we did the English horn. Okay. This is a single reed instrument. Okay. And why is it a single reed instrument? It only takes one piece of cane to make a clarinet reed. Okay, it's not as intricate as the double bass the double reed instruments are. All right, and it has a mouthpiece. You saw how in that video that we watched yesterday, if you remember, the double reed mouthpiece kind of like stuck into it, or it had like its own little contraption to put it on. These instruments, both the woodwind clarinet and the saxophone, you put the reed on the mouthpiece, and then basically the mouthpiece acts as that like top layer or that second double reed. All right, I don't want to dive too deep into that, but give you an idea. This is a single reed instrument. Clarinet bodies have been made from a variety of materials, including wood, plastic, hard rubber, metal, resin, and ivory. Okay. Now, I've never really seen a metal clarinet, but as you can see on here in this picture, I'll kind of zoom in a little more. These are silver keys, so those are made of metal. Okay, but the majority of clarinets either are made of plastic or wood, and your best instruments are going to be made of wood, of course. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Here is that video I was talking about of me playing the clarinet for when I was a senior in college. So if you ever wanted to go to college for music, at the last year you're in college, you have to put on basically a performance or a concert by yourself. So I had to put on an entire concert, and of course the instrument that I chose to play in college was clarinet. So I then played an entire clarinet concert in front of all my friends and family as the last thing I did in college. So here is a little small excerpt of me playing the clarinet. Yeah, and that was a short little clip of that. And sometimes it's very much a tiring effort to play a clarinet or any instrument for that matter. And so when you play for a long time, your mouth gets very, very tired, and the air starts leaking out the sides of your mouth, and you can hear it. You can really hear it. And this was the last song that I played, so it's a little bit airy, a little bit touchy, but I thought I did well with that, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me play clarinet. And this next video, it's a cool little video I found after I graduated college, and it's basically a guy taking a carrot. He takes a big carrot and he makes a clarinet out of it. It's really cool. Go ahead and watch this.
Good morning. There's a lot of people here. It must be because I'm wearing my red shirt. I brought a carrot, and I'm going to give you a quick 4-minute 43, 4-minute 42 instruction on how to make your own clarinet from a carrot. A really good definition that I like of creativity is the putting together of two previously unrelated things, could be objects or ideas, and creating something new. So I'm going to take a carrot and a saxophone mouthpiece, and I'm going to give you a very quick demonstration on how to make your own instrument. Because I think the thing we forget is we tend, crazy because music is such a communal activity, but we tend to leave music in the hands of the experts, and all of us consume music. But you yourselves can become clarinet players very easily. So you need a kitchen knife. I'm going to cut off the end of the carrot. And I do have my trusty clarinet measuring stick here, which is giving me all my measurements. But you can actually go to YouTube. I've put all the measurements up on YouTube. You just need to type in, make your own clarinet. So there's my markings for 6 finger holes down the front. So I'm just using the tip of this 12mm bit. So I'm giving you some, you don't even have to go to YouTube to see. You've got, just remember that you can make a mark in your app. Okay, so that's 6 finger holes and 1 thumb hole on the back marking. Okay, now the tricky part. Okay, here we go. I've got a bowl here so I don't make too much of a mess at this stage. And into the center. Getting there, halfway through. One more, I reckon. $7mm bit now. So that's for the finger holes. Let's do the thumb hole first. And now the 6 finger holes that you notice that I've marked. So you do need, I'm actually using a saxophone mouthpiece I mentioned, but it still is a clarinet because it's a cylindrical bore, not conical.
one video. I remember the first time I watched that, I was very, very thoroughly impressed and wondered why I spent so much money on a real clarinet when I could have just made one out of a carrot. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. That is the versatility of the clarinet, a very easy and a very accessible instrument, one I would really suggest most people try to play if they ever wanted to start the woodwind family. The next instrument that you can easily get into if you are a woodwind instrument player is the saxophone. Okay, and the saxophone is very similar to the clarinet in the way it's played and the mouthpiece that it has. Okay, but it does look different, and this is one of the very confusing instruments. When people see this, they're like, "Oh, that's a brass instrument, right?" Because it's made of brass, but because it has a woodwind, or because it has a mouthpiece that's made of wood, and because it has this interesting shape to it and the way that the buttons are made, this is considered a woodwind instrument. Okay, also referred to as the sax. The saxophone is a family of the woodwind instruments. And there are so many different types of saxophones. We're going to see a lot of different saxophones in one of the videos I provided. But the saxophone is probably one of the most popular instruments that we have in the instrument world. Saxophones are usually made of brass and played with a single reed mouthpiece similar to that of the clarinet. The saxophone family was invented by the Belgian instrument maker Adolphe Sax in 1840. Sax wanted to create a group of series of instruments that would be the most powerful and vocal of the woodwinds, which it is. It is very much so the most powerful, I would say, in terms of sound and the versatility. That would also of the woodwinds and the most adaptive of the brass instruments that would fill the vacant middle ground between the two sections. So, as it's saying here, the saxophone is kind of like the barrier between the brass world and the woodwind world, which is a very cool, cool visual that I've never really even had. But it makes sense to me. It's got that woodwind mouthpiece and that woodwind feel, but it's made of brass and has that brassy sound. So, very cool instrument here. I would highly suggest playing the clarinet first before you play a saxophone. But I know a lot of people who have started on the saxophone and have had plenty of success. I too know how to play the saxophone pretty well, but clarinet is my better instrument of the two. In this video, I believe we're going to watch a saxophone player just kind of go all in and do his thing on by the beach here. as you can see, it's a very much like showy instrument. If you were ever to be in a big city, you would see a lot of street performers playing the saxophone because it's very cool. Like I said, it's very versatile. It has a lot of different abilities, and it sounds really loud compared to like the clarinet or the flute. So, love the saxophone. Highly suggest if you ever have an interest in becoming a woodwind player to take the saxophone route, although I do love clarinet family. Okay, last video we have here, guys. This is a video of showcasing all the different types of saxophones there are, which there are a lot. Okay, so focus in here and see if you can catch all of them. So you see at the end there was some pretty large saxophones, and I personally have never seen those in real life. But they do exist, obviously, and people do play them, but you won't really find them in any kind of high school band or any kind of college band even. Those are more just for specific types of groups that necessarily wanted to have that kind of instrument in their band. But yeah, not very common those instruments at the end. But you have the alto saxophone, the tenor saxophone. Those are your top two most popular instruments. And then you have the soprano saxophone, which is the smallest saxophone in the family. And then you have the baritone saxophone, which is more popular than the other ones. And that's a very cool instrument. I like that instrument a lot. And you'll definitely find that one. And that's probably the biggest saxophone you'll most certainly find in most settings. Last two, guys, we have a quiz here. This or that, clarinet or saxophone. Which instrument is made of brass but also considered a woodwind instrument? Is it the clarinet or the saxophone? Go ahead and I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. Which instrument is made of brass but also considered a woodwind instrument? If you pick saxophone, you are so smart and you got that answer correct. Nice job. And then our last question, which instrument did Mr. Isaac play in college? Which instrument did you get to see a video of Mr. Isaac playing? If you chose clarinet, awesome job. You were paying attention. That is the instrument I chose to play in college, and I still love to play the instrument myself. If you ever have an interest in playing the clarinet, come see me, Mr. Isaac, and maybe I'll, give you a little lesson or something of that nature. As always, guys, Mr. Isaac has 3 things for you. You are kind, you are smart, you are important. I look forward, of course, to the day that we can make music together again. And until then, enjoy these videos, keep watching, and I will see you so soon.